Hello. Oh wow. Should have checked my my lights. And my camera's off. Just there we go. Hey, hello, how do you do? Shade your Regs here. YouTube says my frame rate is dropping. Oh, this thing is playing in the background. That's probably why. Hey, chat, what's going on? You guys see the stream okay? YouTube saying that the there, let me type it in chat. Yo, yeah, it looks good. Yes. Okay, well, I don't know why YouTube is telling me it's not getting enough video then. All right, let me know if it starts working up or if it starts acting up, and we'll do something about it. Anyway, hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Durags here. Welcome to the stream. This was a very impromptu stream, which kind of feels usual, but I wanted to make a quick video just discussing some things. And just let's go over everything. Usually we have a main topic that we talk about for the first chunk of the video. That's what we're going to be talking about, and then afterwards we just have a nice little chat within chat. Start our book club, if you will, and discussing various topics that can come about the channel. So first thing. Is the stream a bit delayed? Well, the stream is always delayed, no matter where you go. So you guys always have to catch up to what I'm saying. But first thing, so last live stream I talked about a hiatus because I was moving, and basically what I was saying was the time I have dedicated to YouTube would be time no longer dedicated to YouTube. It would be time dedicated to getting prepared to move. That has shifted now. We've had to push back the move date, so regular content should be coming again. It kind of sucks because I've been planning this move for a good long while now, but I got some information from some people earlier. They said something was going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, so I'm giving them another 3 to 6 months for it to happen. And if not, I'm gonna have to proceed forward. But regular content should return pretty soon. I got a couple of scripts they've been done. I just haven't had time to record and edit and work on them. So. That's that. Next news is the subreddit is up. We had a poll the other day on whether you guys would like a Discord or a subreddit, and the subreddit won. It is up. However, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to subreddits. So we're gonna go through this journey together. I will post a link to it in the chat. Yeah, I posted a link to it in the chat. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about everything I'm doing, but this should be fun. With this way, I can more easily discuss. Well, I can already easily discuss things with you guys. The whole point that I was asking in that poll on whether you guys want a subreddit or a Discord or whatnot is that on my YouTube channel, we can clearly discuss things. There are a lot of people saying, "Oh, I just want to do it on YouTube. I just want to do it on YouTube." That's fine. Obviously, I love when you guys leave comments on my videos. The whole thing was my YouTube channel it's my platform, so I have the biggest voice on the channel, and I was just more so talking about a platform where everybody gets like an equal say in what's going on. So like on Discord and Reddit, yeah, I might be the one running it, but I don't have like a big screen to put my face on, and my voice is the loudest one being heard. Everybody's voices will be heard on those forums. So that's why I decided to do that. So it is open, and we will see how that goes. This is very experimental for me. And finally, getting to the topic of the title of the video, discussing your guys' suggestions. And I cannot see the stream or the chat, and that's bothering me. So let me do that right quick. Oh, also, I'm going to be reading comments after we discuss all this stuff. But as usual, if you have a comment that you really feel is important, you want to get out there, super chats are enabled. Or if you just want to support the channel, super chats are enabled. Or if you want us to support the channel another way, links are in the description of all the videos. Blah, blah, blah. Sell it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so discussing your guys' video suggestions. The thing is, I get a lot of video suggestions, and some of them, like, a lot of people want me to discuss, and I'm like, I'm not sure what I can say about this topic. This was kind of, this is something that's been coming, but in the last video I did with Sebastian St. Clair, somebody suggested that I do a video on Vincent Adultman and how nobody recognizes him as an adult or as a child. And a lot of people thumbs that comment up. Like, a lot of people wanted me to make a video on Vincent Adultman. And I'm just thinking, what can I say about Vincent Adultman? Like, Vincent Adultman, I feel, is, if you have some intriguing perspective on Vincent Adultman, feel free to let me know, and then maybe I can come up with something. But from my perspective, Vincent Adultman was meant to be a joke, and that's like the only way you can really take him. Because I say in the Todd video, Todd being a successful entrepreneur, I think that was meant to be a joke, but you can still take it in other ways. I think Vincent Adultman can only be taken as a joke. Chat has stopped for me. This is is everything okay in the stream for you guys? I'd just like to make sure, because this error message will not go away. It keeps saying there's something wrong with the video. And I just wanna make sure that everything is running smooth on your guys' end. Yeah, dude, everything's good. Okay. Okay, I'm just paranoid because this this error message just keeps popping up, and I'm just like, okay, chat's not moving. Can they see it? Is it buffering for them? Okay. And boom, boom, boom. So, yeah, Vincent Adultman. Does anybody have an interesting take in chat about Vincent Adultman? Because I just see it as a joke, and I think that's like the only way you can take it. And obviously I could make a 10-second video about it's a joke, but when I make these videos, I'm trying to be concise. So I could draw it out of how he's just a joke, but I try to be as concise as I possibly can. So that would be like a 10-20 second video just to say he's a joke. So I'm not sure what more you can take away from that Vincent Adultman is. Yeah, he's three. Like, the one thing I tried to take away from it was that Princess Carolyn, because she tries so hard to be a mother, she tends to date people who are more childlike. Because she went with Bojack, who was a grown child, and she went with Vincent Adultman, who is an actual child. So I thought maybe that was a theme. But then I got to Rutabaga, and I was like, that doesn't add up, because Rutabaga doesn't really behave like a child in any way. And Ralph definitely doesn't behave like a child. Hey everybody, welcome to the chat. We are just talking about some of your video ideas that you suggested for me. Please do more vids on Bojack Horseman. Okay. Uh, I will do that. But yeah, I don't really have an interesting take on Vincent Altman, but I figure I can at least answer it here on the stream, and that is that I just think it's just a joke, and I don't know, I don't have any other way of taking it. Anyway, I'm repeating myself now. The next topic is actually related to that. It's the Princess Carolyn's boyfriend's topic. Because I legit thought there was a good subject there, and once upon a time, I did go out and look for material to connect these things. The problem seems to be, to me at least, is that the only connection these people have, which is Bojack, Vince Smith, Rutabaga, and Ralph, the only connection they have is that they dated Princess Carolyn. So making a video about all four of those seems, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say superfluous, but I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. But it doesn't seem like a proper theme. I could probably make a video about each one, except Vincent Adultman, because there's not much to say about him. But Rutabaga and Ralph, I've already done one about Bojack and Princess Carolyn, but Rutabaga and Ralph I could probably make a video about. But yeah, I don't know about making a video about all four, because it's not like Mr. Peanut Butter's Wives, where there was a running theme up until that point. This was back before season 5 came out. There was a running theme with Mr. Peanut Butter's Wives where they were all just sticks in the mud, and everybody was wondering, why does this really fun guy constantly marry sticks in the mud? Which, by the way, again, really goes again. Okay, I'm about to go on a bit of a tangent here, but back then, this was a huge theory that Mr. Peanut Butter was intentionally marrying sticks in the mud because he wanted to turn them into fun people. This was a major mindset among the fandom. Then season 5 comes out, and Mr. Peanut Butter's booze is like, I always marry these fun women, and then they turn into sticks in the mud. It's like, okay, the continuity really seems to be thrown out the window. Anyway, you guys all know I don't really like season 5 and Mr. Peanut Butter's booze. I just hate that episode. But, yeah. What about a video on the long face theory? I believe that's a really good theory, but again, it would be a really short video because it would just be saying this is a theory and I like it. There's not much evidence you can find within the show. If I went into looking to that evidence, it would be a lot of reaching, because the concept that this is all a backstory, and say, well, this you can see this inconsistency right here. That makes it all a backstory. He's misremembering, blah, blah, blah. If I would have to say that, I would be pretty much ignoring the concept of storytelling and the fact that it's a cartoon. Because anything that doesn't make sense, I could just say, well, it's in his memory. But that could also just be because it's a cartoon. There are things they intentionally make so they don't make sense. Sorry to be off topic. I don't see the comment you posted that was off topic. Oh, it's right above it. You should do videos on a show that have a larger audience. Obviously shorter videos because there's so many, but a video analyzing Family Guy or American Dad and how it relates to Bojack Horseman's would be cool. Well, I have to have access to those shows. I do have Hulu, and I need to watch Rick and Morty because I do have Hulu. I didn't know I had Hulu. There are various accounts I share with other people, and one of them got Hulu, and I just forgot I had it. I need to sit down and watch Rick and Morty. Not for material. I just want to watch Rick and Morty. It looks like a funny cartoon. I've seen so many clips from it, and they make me laugh all the time. I just want to watch that show. It's I don't know about Family Guy because I genuinely hate Family Guy. Like, earlier episodes of Family Guy were funny. Later episodes I just can't stand. I really can't stand the characters. And I don't really want to do a video on something I hate as a way for a theoretical way to get views. Like, if a lot of people come at me and say, I want to see a video on this show, then I'll do it. Like with the whole Tuca and Bertie thing. I started watching Tuca and Bertie. I didn't really like it after episode 1, but a lot of people wanted me to do a video, so I was like, I kind of balanced it because it was still a good show. You know, it wasn't a bad show in any of the sense. It was just not to my liking. I was like, well, I'll do a video because my audience really wants it, and this show is good. It deserves to have a video on it. American Dad, I don't really care for. I couldn't really tell you if it's a good or bad show. I've only seen a couple episodes, but I don't really care for it. Ralph wants children. Rutabaga have children. Adultman is a child. And Bojack doesn't want children. Huh, yeah. That's an interesting take on it. How about Bojack is gay theory? Yeah, well, I did a video on that, so... You haven't watched Rick and Morty? No, because it's not on Netflix. And Netflix, if it's not on... My main source of entertainment is YouTube. Because I like individual content creators, and I want to support individual content creators. But every once in a while, I'll head to Netflix and watch stuff. And that's mainly what I'm looking at when I'm watching non-independent people. I'm usually going to Netflix. Rick and Morty is good. You should watch it, but don't have expectations going into the season 3. It's a media-core season, but it gets a lot worse if you expect it. Well, I'm not going into Rick and Morty for the deep philosophical stuff that the Rick and Morty fan base is constantly claiming it has. I don't care about that. It looks funny. I've seen so many clips from Rick and Morty, and they make me either smile or laugh. I want to be entertained. And that's an interesting thing about cartoons. A while ago, it was a couple years ago, the Nostalgia Critic came out with a video saying cartoons now are better than ever. Back then, I completely did not believe that was true. And the reason I said that is because back then, I don't know if it's still true now because I haven't been keeping up with most cartoons. Back then, there wasn't enough variety. You either had cartoons that were ridiculously silly, or cartoons that you just had to take super seriously. And back in the 2000s, the early 2000s, you had so many good quality cartoons with such variety. It was amazing. If you were like, you could just sit down and watch Ed and Nettie for a good comedy, or Samurai Jack as a good drama, or action, whatever Samurai Jack is. And there were so many of those various types of cartoons, comedy, dramas, in-betweens, etc. So it's like, even when I watch cartoons, I just want to be entertained. So that's why when I found Troll Hunters on Netflix, because I'm a Saturday morning cartoon kind of guy. When I saw Troll Hunters on Netflix, my mind was blown because I was like, an actual quality Saturday morning cartoon. Like, I haven't seen a good quality morning Saturday cartoon in forever. It's always these deep philosophical ones or these super Teen Titans Go hilarity ones. So when I go to watch Rick and Morty, I just want to be entertained. That's all I'm looking for. If it brings about something deep and philosophical, fine. Fine. That NC video is awesome. I stopped watching the NC because of how they treat their customers. I think you're talking about the whole change the channel thing, which wasn't their customers, it was their the people who work with them. Which that was a big he said, she said kind of thing. So it's like the only evidence we have to go off of is a large group of people and what happened with Channel Awesome. Channel Awesome still makes good commentaries. It is a good show. While it does have its times where it has philosophical themes, it's just a show that is funny and really, really creative. That's all I want from it. If you really want to be entertaining, watch Archer. Okay, so I should mention, I've mentioned this before. I don't know why I said mention, but I should re-mention that I'm more of a Saturday morning cartoon kind of guy. Adult shows don't interest me that much. I know that's weird to hear from me because my channel is mostly centered around adult shows. The reason my channel is mostly centered around adult shows is because I have to balance what I want to watch and what you guys, the types of videos I want to make and the types of videos you guys want to see. And because the internet has so many millennials reviewing cartoons, millennials often go back in time to the cartoons they liked. or they stay in this time, but they mainly deal with children's cartoons. So that's everywhere on YouTube. People come to my channel because it's mostly adult content, and they don't have another outlet for that. So I have to be considerate of that when I'm making videos. But as to what I'm attracted to, I'm mostly attracted to Saturday morning cartoons. Things like Troll Hunters, Voltron. I'm saying things like She-Ra, but I haven't seen She-Ra. Things like that. Real talk though, what do you think about people who get tattoos from TV shows that aren't even completed? Love you, Shady. Thank you. I mean, I don't like tattoos in general, but the whole point of getting a tattoo is that you permanently have something on you representing something about yourself. So if you think that show's gonna be a permanent representation of yourself, then that's you. It's hard to fault somebody for that, you know. So it's just a life choice, and even then, nowadays you can for a while now you can remove tattoos via laser, whatever it's called. So I mean, if that's the choice you want to make, fine. I just say the only thing I would say is stay away from your face. Again, if you want to do it, that's fine. But I think it would be a poor life choice to get a tattoo on your face because unless you're self-employed, like it's very difficult to be in a social situation with face tattoos. It doesn't really say much about you. It's uncomfortable for people to look at. What did you think about Adventure Time? Adventure Time came out. Okay, so from 2010 to I want to say about 2015, I stopped watching most cartoons, and the reason because of that was because 2008 to 2010 had just mediocre cartoons. Like it was just a very bad time for cartoons. Problem Solvers was what really just threw me off. When Problem Solvers came out, I was just like done. During that time, the only cartoon I really got into was I got a glimpse of Star versus the Forces of Evil, and that was really good. I would still like to just go back and watch that whole series, which my friend keeps telling me. All of the videos are online legally. I just need to buck up and do it. And Wander Over Yonder, which I was so mad that they canceled. But after season 2 of Wander Over Yonder started, I moved and I didn't have cable for a while. When I got cable again, this was like in, I'm going to say either 2015 or 2016, I started watching cartoons again. But Cartoon Network was oversaturated with Teen Titans Go. So I would just turn the TV on. This is back when I was in college. I would just turn the TV on to have some background noise. And different shows would come on. And I would get interested in these shows. Like Clarence came on. Clarence had a really good episode. It's like, okay, I'm interested in this show. Then it would be 2 hours of Teen Titans Go. Then We Bare Bears would come on. Then it'd be 2 hours of Teen Titans Go. Then Steven Universe would come on. Then 2 hours of Teen Titans Go. And I just got tired of Teen Titans Go. That's legit what happened with me and Cartoon Network. I got tired of Teen Titans Go. Now, I know it's popular for cartoon reviewers to just hate Teen Titans Go. Well, not anymore. They're not hating on it as much. But that was a big thing for a while. For if you were a cartoon reviewer, hating Teen Titans Go was what you did. I don't want to say never, but if I hated Teen Titans Go, it was only for a small period of time. Teen Titans Go has entertained me. I've never hated a comedy parody series of superhero shows. Like before Teen Titans Go, there was those running around everywhere, and I loved them. The problem with Teen Titans Go is that it was oversaturated. They played it all the time, and I got sick because Teen Titans Go uses the same jokes over and over and over again. And then other cartoons started emulating their style, and I'm like, this is not what I want to see in cartoons. Teen Titans Go is junk food. It is junk food for your brain, and that's fine if you want to watch junk food, but it shouldn't be the only thing you consume. And that's really how I fell out of Cartoon Network. Taylor Avalos, thoughts on world building of Bojack? $2. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Thoughts on world building of Bojack Horseman? I think the world building is beyond excellent in Bojack Horseman. Now, I'm saying this with Season 5 being the exception. If you see my top 10 worst things about Season 5, you know I'm not a fan of Season 5. I think Season 5 did a really bad job with its continuity. But ignoring that, the first 4 seasons are so good. when the mysterious Mr. Ender made his video about BoJack Horseman, he said the continuity was better than Avatar. I wanted to slap him because I'm an Avatar fan, and I'm like, how can anything's continuity be better than Avatar: The Last Airbender? Like, it is what you look at when you want to make continuity. Because there are in future episodes, there are so many callbacks to earlier episodes. But he was right. BoJack Horseman has such good continuity. You have no problem. But I made a video. Okay, finish your thoughts. You have no problem believing that this world exists. I made a video a while back. It was called the 3 C's of believability, I think it was. The 3 C's of something. And basically I was saying, if you want to write a piece of fiction and you want your audience to be immersed in that fiction, there are 3 rules you have to follow. Character, continuity, and consistency. BoJack gets an A+ in all 3 of those categories. So I would say, yes, the world building is excellent. And they don't even have to, you don't have to go super deep into certain details. Like, they never explain why animals are anthro in this world. You don't have to go into those types of details. You just need to be consistent with the world you're building. I really didn't like the latest episode of Steven Universe. I haven't caught up with Steven Universe. I started watching, I want to say it was season 2. But again, this was during a time where Teen Titans Go was just playing all the time. Like, that's the main cartoon I would wait to come on Cartoon Network because it had such a high reputation with Steven Universe. And Steven Universe and The Amazing World of Gumball. Those 2 I used to wait for all the time. Do you think season 6 will be better than season 5 or worse? I have no idea where it's going to go. I'm hoping it'll be better. That's all I can say. I'm just hoping it'll be better. There was one topic I want to talk about. This topic right here. A lot of people have been asking me to talk about it for a while, and I just don't know what to say about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and give my thoughts on it right now. Judah from season 2 and 3. Everybody loves this character, and everybody wants me to talk about this character. I don't know what to say other than I love this character. That's the thing. Like, there's really nothing to analyze about him. He's just the Spock of BoJack Horseman. You know, he's an introvert. He's very reserved. He completely blots out the right part of his brain. You know, he's not emotional at all. So that's all I can say about him. I like his character. Everybody likes his character. You know, those a lot of us on the internet are antisocial introverts. So we see a really successful introverted. We see a really successful antisocial introvert who's like the epitome of what we want to be, and we tend to lean towards him. You know, Judah was a very likable character, but that's all I can really say about him. Oh yeah, by the way, Netflix put some new Ladybug episodes. I know! I'm so behind with Ladybug. I'm gonna try to catch up with Ladybug. I have to. The thing is, the next episode needs to be a reaction video because I've been waiting forever for this episode to come out, and I know people want to see my reaction to it. But I'm still mid season 2, and season 3 has already started to show on Netflix, and everybody else has already seen all of season 3. So, the regular show, Mordecai Analysis. Regular show was a show I did not like. I know that's a shocker because pretty much everyone agrees it's a quality show. I'm not going to say it's not a quality show. I just didn't like it because the protagonists, I was going to say Rick and Morty, Mordecai and Rigby, they were the epitome of what I did not like in people. I was in high school going to college when regular show came out. And these two were lazy young adults who wanted the world handed to them on a silver plate without doing anything. And I could not stand that. A lot of people identify with these characters, so, you know, I can't say it's a bad show. I couldn't stand that because I was someone who always worked hard, and if I didn't get what I wanted, I just believed I didn't work hard enough for it. That mentality has since shifted, but yeah, these Mordecai and Rigby, they caused their own problems all the time, and it annoyed the mess out of me. Did you like Tuca and Bertie? I think Netflix shouldn't have given up on it so fast. I thought Tuca and Bertie was quality. I did not like it. It was not a show for me. I said this in my Tuca and Bertie video, which a lot of Tuca and Bertie fans did not like. I could not identify with either of the characters. I think Tuca is more relatable, but I still can't identify with her because I have a family that I'm really close with. So I think she's more entertaining to watch, though. Bertie to me wasn't entertaining to watch. Bertie, it seems like if you did not relate to her in her aspects, you were gonna have a hard time watching what she was going through. And a lot of people took that as me saying, I can't relate to a woman. No, I was saying I can't relate to her identity as a woman. She puts a lot of emphasis on how she identifies herself as a woman. And, hold on, finish your thought, Shady. And because of that, there's no way I can get into that mindset because I'm not a woman. And even if I was a woman, I wouldn't necessarily agree. My camera's shifting all over the place because it's right next to my desk. Even if I was a woman, I wouldn't necessarily agree with what she views as an identity as a woman. So, no, I didn't like Tuca and Bertie, but I do recommend it to people because it's a quality show. And I also had some specific problems with it in how to approach certain topics. But, yeah. And also, what I was about to say before I cut myself off, Aggretsuko. Aggretsuko is basically the same thing as Tuca and Bertie. The protagonist is slightly younger. Aggretsuko does everything so much better than Tuca and Bertie. Maybe the exception is animation, because Tuca and Bertie is more experimental with its animation. But the storytelling in Aggretsuko is, oh my goodness, it is scrum-diddly-umptious. It's just... And it's about a young woman in the workplace dealing with specifically what young women have to go through. And I can identify with her because even though this is what mostly young women go through, they don't emphasize that. They do it like once or twice. You know, she's like, I remember in the first episode, she's like, there's thousands of young women in work jobs. And that's like the one of two times in the entire season that they mention that this is really what women go through. But I identify with Aggretsuko so much, even though I've never really been through what she's been through. The character is so good, and the story is so well written, and it takes the time to analyze everyone's perspective. Like, even the perspectives of people Aggretsuko doesn't like. Like, I didn't think they could make me like that hippo. That annoying hippo who talks all the time. I didn't think they could make me like her. But season 2, she just said something so beautiful about marriage. Like, I was like, how? I hated this character. And freaking Anai, I was like, how did they, in one episode, make me like Anai? I didn't think I could possibly like Anai. He was so freaking annoying. But yeah, so, you know, to everybody who's like, well, you don't like Tuca and Bertie because you can't identify with women. Aggretsuko is proof against that. I freaking love Aggretsuko. I probably like Aggretsuko more than Bojack Horseman. It is a fantastic cartoon. Both seasons I freaking love. Wait, Tuca and Bertie's 100% canceled? Well, yeah, from what I heard, they're trying to find another network, but Netflix said no. Because, you know, Netflix lost a lot of money. And Tuca and Bertie, with all his experimental animation and how it was going about it, it was only one season, it was a niche show, and it was pretty expensive because of all the animation techniques. I'm guessing it was pretty expensive. I don't have the numbers for that. All that combined, it was more than likely to get canceled. And I'm wondering how many shows really got canceled, because Tuca and Bertie was the one with the loudest fan base. You know, the types of people who watched Tuca and Bertie were really loud about it. So when it got canceled, they were also loud about that. Has anybody brought up Gravity Falls yet? I haven't seen all of Gravity Falls. Again, that's just because I haven't gone out to look for it. I really enjoy your content, man. Thanks for answering my questions. Have a good one. All right, take care. I thought you weren't uploading. Yeah, I brought this up. Well, first of all, I never said I wasn't uploading. I said the time I have dedicated to making videos would be time dedicated to something else. I would still be working on videos. I just wouldn't have that dedicated time to them. So there would probably be a week or two where I wouldn't be able to get a video out. But at the beginning of the video, I said this. The whole moving thing has been pushed back a couple months, so I should be able to make content more regularly. Yeah, I just some things happen where some people were supposed to give me some things happened where something was supposed to happen. People said they were going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, so I have to wait. You should make short videos talking about the side characters of Bojack Horseman. I mean, I guess I could. I'm kind of scared though, because I've seen channels that try to do that. They make shorter videos and then they lose their audience, because their audience just, when you flood your audience with content they don't care about, they start unsubscribing and they start not liking to go to your videos. You should do an Aggretsuko analysis. Oh, believe me, I have them planned. Aggretsuko is a show I want to make regular on this channel. There's so much you can talk about in Aggretsuko. But I have to get through a backlog of videos first. I have to finish the Disenchantment video. I have to finish the Big Mouth video. And there was another video I have. The script somewhere on my laptop, but I have to finish that one. Like when Tome gave Fresco his advice about her relationship with Space Cadet. Yes! Yes! And that's the thing. They don't villainize the people who Aggretsuko disagrees with. Like with Space Cadet, they weren't saying he was a horrible person. They were stressing out on Aggretsuko that she was putting in more than she was getting. That's something she needed to look into and say, is that what she really wanted? And the same thing with the other guy who she was. These are spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen the show. The same thing with the other guy she was dating. They were saying, hey, you want to be with this guy, but your dreams are not compatible. Are you really willing to give that up? Are you willing to give up your dream for his dream? And it's a great thing that makes you think. It's a great thing that makes you think about the situation that this character is in. Off topic, I changed my opinion on Hamilton in that my favorite song is Non-Stop. That ending is amazing. Non-Stop is definitely my favorite because I feel like once I get going on my YouTube stuff, that's Non-Stop Hamilton is going to be me. Comments are coming fast. Do you like Breaking Bad? I've never seen Breaking Bad. It's too mainstream. I'm so disappointed in you. Gravity Falls is amazing. Shady would love it. This is out of concern. I've seen most of season 1 of Gravity Falls, and I've seen a chunk of season 2. It's just I haven't seen all of it because watching shows is dedicated time, and a lot of times when I'm sitting down watching something, I feel like I'm wasting time. Now I do waste time doing other stuff, but that's mainly because I'm telling myself I'm relaxing. I legit thought the Big Mouth vid was a meme. It's becoming a meme at this point. It was so long ago that I promised that I'd do Big Mouth. And I feel really bad because I was going to do Big Mouth, but I was like, let me do F is for Family first. Because that is something people beforehand were requesting. And even though Big Mouth won, I wanted to address that one first. And then afterwards I was going to do it again. But a bunch of people flooded me with Tuca and Bertie requests. So I did a poll. I was like, do you want the Big Mouth one first or the Tuca and Bertie? And everybody said Tuca and Bertie. So I went with the Tuca and Bertie. So now here we are, freaking almost September, and I still haven't done the Big Mouth video. At this point, it's got a little bit of a hype behind it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to live up to that hype. I already have the script written. What is your opinion on the new Nickelodeon movies? The Rocko's Life one and Invader Zim. Okay, I wanted to make a really quick video on this, but I didn't have time. I might still make one. I haven't seen the Rocko's Modern Life movie because I didn't watch Rocko's Modern Life growing up. But Invader Zim, on point. That Nickelodeon, keep doing that, please. I love the Hey Arnold movie, but I agree with Saberspark when he said that it didn't feel like a Hey Arnold movie. It felt like the Hey Arnold characters going on an adventure. But freaking Invader Zim felt like an Invader Zim movie. And it's weird because you get these cartoons that when they produce a movie, it either feels like a really long episode of the show or it feels like the characters going into a situation they normally wouldn't be into. Invader Zim had that perfect balance. Enter the Florpus. It had that perfect balance, and I really hope Nickelodeon keeps doing. Like, it gives me hope for the Rugrats movie, even though it's going to be live action and nobody wants that. But Invader Zim was so on point. The only major difference in Invader Zim was Gaz. And the thing about Gaz is, though, everyone still liked her character. Everybody still loved her character. And I think that's because they kept what people loved about her character in there. Gaz used to be just the Mandy of Nickelodeon. Mandy from Billy and Mandy. She was just evil. You didn't mess with her. And that was fine. Everybody loved her. I shouldn't say just. Everybody loved that about Gaz. But this new one, she's very expressive. She's has a lot of emotions. She actually shows that she somewhat cares, and everybody still loves her. What makes Gaz great for the show was the fact that she was the straight man to most situations. This world that Invader Zim has, and not Earth, I mean like the fictional world, everybody reacts in crazy fashions. Gaz, the only time she reacts in crazy fashions is if she's angry. That's the only time. But most of the time she reacts very calmly, even though she's just as upset as Dib is or something like that. They kept that. So, yeah, I freaking love Invader Zim Enter the Florpus. That piece is nice. Song is stuck in my head. Why did my views drop so heavily? That was like 30 minutes ago, but still. Yeah, they dropped to 0. I don't know. YouTube's going through it. Okay. How do you write like you're running out of time? It didn't hit me until I fully read the question. I can answer that question. You write like you're running out of time because you know you are running out of time. You want to. The whole point in the Hamilton play was that Hamilton never thought he'd live past 20. So he constantly lives like he's not going to get more time. F is for Family is great. Again, thought I wouldn't like it. I mean, when I saw the first episode, I was like, I don't see how I could like this. But then I saw... I'm mad I can't remember his name. Kevin. I saw Kevin, and Kevin was a very interesting character. His character didn't go the way I wanted it to. I became more interested in Frank, and... the youngest son. Jeez, I cannot remember these characters' names. The youngest son. If I ever do another video on F is for Family, which I do plan on it, it'll probably be on between Kevin and the youngest son. I expected more dark humor, and I was disappointed. In Invader Zim, I mean, Invader Zim isn't really about dark humor. Invader Zim can get dark, but it's more of... Invader Zim does the LOL random really well. Like, a lot of millennials will complain about LOL random because we're, Teen Titans Go sacrificed everything for LOL random. And the Invader Zim didn't. Invader Zim, you still understand the world and the characters, even though it did LOL random. It put specific characters in. It's what Doug Walker talked about in his he talked about it in his Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go video and in his Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video. The characters don't have a specific personality. So they can make jokes that can be funny, but they're not personally funny. Whereas Invader Zim, certain characters have to make certain jokes or they don't work. And that's much better for the comedy. I wouldn't mind more F is for Family content before Big Mouth. I think most people don't even really want the Big Mouth video that much. But it's a video I promised to get out, and I really want to get it out. So, off topic, I love B.O.N. Bon Iver. Have you heard of him? No. I definitely wouldn't mind more, like, reboots and stuff like that have left a sour taste in most of our mouths because Powerpuff Girls, the reboot of that was so bad. Disney keeps doing these live action remakes which are so bad. So it's like people want more original stuff. But Nickelodeon is showing that you can do it right. you can bring something back right. All right. Have you watched 12 Forever? No, I have not. Oh, you guys hear Pew's got 100 mil finally? That is just lovely. I'm so happy for Pewds is on top of the world right now. All right, so it looks like we have run out of steam. I give you guys a couple minutes to ask any further questions. I wasn't planning on a long stream anyway. This was just a quick stream just to let you guys know, hey, the content will be coming back, and as well as certain topics of certain videos. Like, I never want you guys to think I'm just ignoring your suggestions. Some of them I can't justify dedicating a whole video to. Diff membrane is not your fault. I'm tired of seeing so many Last Airbender analysis popping up on my feed. It's over discussed in my opinion. I'm upset because I wanted to discuss the Last Airbender stuff, and now everybody's making videos about it. So I'm like, well, I'm completely late to the party. What's your opinion about The Amazing World of Gumball? Did you like it? I freaking loved The Amazing World of Gumball. The Amazing World of Gumball is the show I went to watch just for entertainment purposes, and then I left with deeper meaning that I didn't mean to. It's like what most people go to Bojack Horseman for. I think Cartoon Network didn't mess up the schedule that much. Teen Titans Go would have been received much better. Well, there was a bunch of factors with Teen Titans Go hatred. Like, the first factor was it wasn't Teen Titans. Like, everybody hated it just because it wasn't Teen Titans. The second thing, the writers came out and said they never watched Teen Titans. They later came out and said that was just a joke, but nobody believed them because in their work, it pretty much showed that they never liked Teen Titans. Like, that was the thing. Teen Titans Go was supposed to be a parody of superheroes and Teen Titans. If you say you've never seen Teen Titans, how are you going to parody it? The people tried to give Teen Titans Go a chance. That was the thing. They were like, okay, it's not Teen Titans, but we will try to give it a chance. And then Teen Titans Go decided it wanted to it wanted to give the critics messages. And I've said this before. I hate it when shows do that. When the message is, this show is not for you. I hate it when they do that because they're being hypocritical when they say that. Teen Titans Go would make an episode specifically for its critics, telling them it's not for them. If you make an episode specifically for your critics, then yes, it is about them. You're being hypocritical, and it annoyed me because a lot of their messages I just didn't agree with. Like that whole the Return of Slade episode. The only one I really liked was Let's Get Serious, or was it Let's Get Serious? Yeah, I think it's Let's Get Serious, because that seemed to be making fun of critics and Teen Titans Go. Like, it wasn't just the critics suck. There's a new season of Avatar on Netflix. Are you excited? No, Avatar was pretty much perfect. The only thing that I was upset about in Avatar was, well, there were a couple things. I didn't really like Katara's advancement. She became a master way too quickly. With Aang, I felt it makes sense because he was a prodigy and the Avatar. Katara wasn't a prodigy. She had immense power, but her strategy wasn't that good. But the show, once she got a master, the show was like, well, all she needed was a master, and she would have became a master. And I was like, that doesn't really make sense to what was previously established. It feels more Mary Sue-ish, but I guess they needed a master waterbender because they needed a master everything. The thing is, though, everyone else, it took years to become a master at their stuff. Katara, it only took a few months for her to master waterbending. And Aang mastered waterbending too, but not as fast as Katara did. And the other thing I have issues with is, well, I shouldn't say I have issues with, but I'm salty about. I was a Zutara fan. I shipped Zuko and Katara. And a lot of people are like, well, that doesn't make sense because Zuko had this relationship with this other girl and it was so much more meaningful. And then I'm like, that didn't come out till book Fire. Like, yeah, we saw May in book Earth, but their relationship didn't come out till book Fire. So we didn't have that to go off of. Katara even specifically said Aang was like a little brother to her. So a lot of the relationship between them, I wasn't feeling the connection. Whereas Zuko and Katara had that classic we're opposites. Katara had hope. Zuko had determination. Katara was water. Zuko was fire. Katara was love. Zuko was hatred. You know, it was a lot of that opposites coming together. And when they had that conversation in book 2, like a lot of people really felt there was a connection there. But yeah, book 3 squashed all that. But even still, with those nitpicks, I would say those are definitely nitpicks. I wouldn't say they're legit problems. They're nitpicks. And Avatar: The Last Airbender, I consider top tier cartoon quality. When I'm thinking about quality of cartoons, I compare it to the Avatar: The Last Airbender. I only watched it when I was a kid. I remember liking it a lot, and I have been wanting to watch it a lot. What are your thoughts on Netflix She-Ra problems and how they are using He-Man to elevate the failure of She-Ra? I don't watch She-Ra because I was interested in it because the animation looked pretty. I mean, I know when it first came out, a lot of people were complaining about the animation because the animation in the trailer didn't look good. But the animation to me looked interesting from the actual show. The problem is the people who didn't like it were giving critiques about the story. The people who did like it, the only thing they could say was it has good representation. And when something only has good representation, that's the only thing people are saying. I tend not to like it because it's like representation is not what should be driving a plot. I care most about the plot in most things. So I haven't gotten around to even taking a look at it. My favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up was Xiaolin Showdown. Yes! Xiaolin Showdown. Oh my goodness, that was such a good cartoon. And the finale, even though the continuity in the finale is completely messed up, it was still such an exciting event. And the finale of that show blew my mind. Xiaolin Showdown was amazing. I love Xiaolin Showdown. If you've never seen Xiaolin Showdown, you love Saturday morning cartoons, go watch it. It's amazing. Katara never felt like a Mary Sue character throughout the show. Once upon a time, I did think she was a Mary Sue, but I have been since abandoned that thought. I just said that her learning waterbending very, very quickly felt like a Mary Sue move. Because it takes people in that show years to become a master at something. Oh, my sinuses are acting up. It takes years for them to become a master at something. Like Zuko had been bending fire for years with Iroh as his master, one of the greatest firebending teachers out there. And when he first met Aang, he still hadn't learned the advanced techniques. Katara, who was throughout book 1 showing that she didn't really have a grasp of techniques, she just had a lot of hidden power, suddenly mastered techniques once they gave her a master. So I felt that was a little iffy. But again, it makes sense because they needed a master of every element on the team. They needed one for they needed one for water, Katara. They needed one for air, Aang. Earth, Toph, fire, Zuko. So, I mean, Aang didn't master any of the elements by the end. He only mastered air. He mastered water. He was a water bending master. He hadn't mastered earth or fire yet. Like you don't see Katara teaching him that much in book Fire. There's like one lesson with Katara, and that's more of with Toph because he's fighting Toph, Katara, and Sokka at the same time, and he's blindfolded. But mostly, he did master waterbending. Dude, I'm sorry, but I cannot understand what you're... Yeah, my sinuses are starting to act up. Freaking... I don't know why. What about Mao Mao, Heroes of Pure Heart? Never saw that. Have you watched Moonlight? No, I have not. So glad you love it too. I can see how people have some problems with the finale, but it was such a captivating use of time travel. Yeah, and I mean, again, it messed it. It had horrible continuity. Like it really didn't make sense how Master Monk Guang lived for so long. Like the whole point of Chase Young drinking the dragon potion was that he wanted to become immortal, and they're just like, oh, Master Monk Guan has just been living for the last 1500 years. He's just been alive. It's like, well, if Master Monk Guan could just live, why would Chase Young drink the dragon potion? He was already super strong. What do you think about Toph and Katara's friendship? Is like, what do you think about Toph and Katara's friendship? Is like, I mean, it's okay. They had a couple episodes, and I'm kind of glad they did that, where it was just Toph and Katara interactions, because Toph is the mother of the group, and Toph. Katara is the mother of the group. She wants to remain a child. Toph doesn't want to grow up. She has freedom. So it was important that they established those types of episodes. And they probably had the most interactions when it comes to Toph. She probably had the most specific episodes dedicated to her and Katara than other characters, because she collided with Katara in the chase episode. She had a bonding moment with Katara in the Tales of Ba Sing Se. She collided with Katara again in the Runaway, and there was one. I think there was one more thing she had with Katara, but I'm not remembering it. Actually, your thoughts on Legend of Korra? I only saw up to mid season 3. Season 3 was getting really good. Season 1 I was loving until the finale. It wasn't as good as Avatar. But I was fine. I was having a fun time until the finale. No, I didn't like the love triangle. Nobody likes the love triangle, but I like the pro bending. And Mr. Ender says he can't understand the rules of pro bending. I understand them perfectly. Like, just watching them play, I understand what the rules are in pro bending. But the only thing is, the final episode was just horrible on season 1. Season 2 had ups and downs. Like, the first half was horrible, but then they went and did that backstory, and even though I think it messed with the continuity of Avatar, it was still enjoyable and unique. And then after that, it was just like a roller coaster. It's because freaking Korra is a Mary Sue. Like, all throughout season 1, she's a Mary Sue. She's written completely like a Mary Sue. Have you watched any of Final Space? I have not. Goodbye, dude. Gotta go. Alright. Thanks for stopping by. I'm probably going to head off soon as well. This was supposed to be just a quick stream. How long have I been streaming? Probably about an hour. Yeah, exactly an hour. Man, I love this Civil War arc. Like I said, I only watched the mid-season 3. Season 3 was getting good, but then I stopped. I stopped because... Why did I stop? Oh, because I changed my... I was working, that's why. It would come on once a week, every night at this specific time, and then I got a new job, and my hours changed to that time, so I couldn't watch it. What is a Mary Sue? A Mary Sue is a term used in fiction to describe a character to which the plot bends itself to. So, stereotypical examples of a Mary Sue is a person who they're stronger than the strongest. They do things that don't have any consequences, and the show constantly backs them up on their mindset, even though if the show was being logical, it wouldn't back them up. Korra is an example of this in season 1, because she was shown to she was immediately shown to be better than Aang in her bending. The only thing she wasn't as good at was air bending, but she could bend 3 elements right out the gate. She went to what's that city called? She went to the city and broke all sorts of rules, but the TV show, but what's his face, Tenzin, paid for it for her. She didn't have to face any consequences for it. And then the show constantly backed her up on her mindset, even though reality, like she's like, I've seen the city and it's completely messed up. You helped mess it up. You just didn't follow any of the rules of the city, of civilization. It wasn't messed up. It just wasn't to your liking. Da, da, da. So yeah, season two. A Mary Sue. The best way to describe it is a character to which the plot bends itself to. Season 1 and 2 of Korra failed the continuity of Avatar lore and character building. Yes, yes, it did. I don't know why Aang died so young. Aang was a firebender. Like Sozin's comet. You have to see Avatar extras to know this, but Sozin's comet causes firebenders who are alive when it's there to live longer times. Well, it's a theory anyway. That's why Sozin himself lived for so long. Go watch Final Space. Love to hear your take on it. Final Space, I will keep an eye out for it. And Mary Sue is like a super character that cannot do bad. Like she's perfect. She's basically viewed as perfect. And people will say, well, this character failed in this way and failed in that way. And it's like, it's more along the lines of, does the plot think they failed? Does the plot make them suffer consequences for their actions? Or does somebody else have to bail them out most of the time? The asphyxiation? You talking about my sinuses, or are you talking about something else? Aang died young for Korra. Aang died young for Korra to be able to meet Aang's friends. That is probably why, yeah. That is probably why. Which just goes to what the rapper 10,000 was saying. Like, it failed in the continuity. What happened to Sokka? I just suppose he died because Katara said my brother's time has passed or something like that in the first episode. Like she said the time of my brother is gone or something like that. She specifically mentioned that her brother was gone. Led to believe Appa was the last one. Yeah, and then turns out the Fire Lord just had a few hidden in the back pocket, just in case he needed to fly. I mean, Avatar: Last Airbender has problems. It is not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect show, but I think it's as perfect of a show as you're gonna get. For example, they said one of the big things was they said, well, so the only way to get to an airbending temple is with a flying bison, and the firebenders don't have those. No, but they had dragons, and Aang knew that. Like in season 3, in Book Fire, he says dragons were everywhere when I was a kid, and Zuko says, yeah, but firebenders wiped them out. So, that's a continuity issue in Avatar: Last Airbender. But what's so good about Avatar: Last Airbender is so good you ignore the problems. No, by the way, I did not approve of the Aang's decision in the season finale, but the series finale is so good. It's like I can only complain about it for so long. We don't know why Aang or Sokka died or how they bred Sky Bison when it was. Well, they say I didn't see this part. Apparently, in the later seasons, they say the Fire Lord had some hidden away. And that's how they bred Sky Bison. I thought they just reproduced asexually when I saw them. I mean, he was frozen in ice that may have had some effect. Well, he was frozen in ice, but he experienced Sozin's Comet twice. He experienced it twice. One when Sozin was alive, and another when Ozai was alive. The comet is supposed to make firebenders live extremely long. And again, you would only know that if you saw extras. They kill my boy Aang so Korra can take his place because representation. Well, Aang was going to die eventually, and then we would have Korra either way. It's kind of funny that Korra was supposed to be a princess, and then she wasn't. Boomy in season 1 finale looks so cool. So cooler than what we got. The season 1 finale. Oh, you're talking about Korra. Okay. So it's like, Boomy wasn't in the season 1 finale. What are you talking about? Also, I think the mentality instability of Zuko's sister is the amazing character development throughout the show. Yes, Sokka was my favorite character for the longest time, but as I got older, it became Azula because she is the most fascinating character throughout the whole show. Just the themes that surround her, how she believes in control and she uses fear to keep control over people, but how she broke down because her worldview was questioned. This is something PSA Sitch went into about Spider-Man, how important worldview is to characters. Azula's worldview was shattered. Her friends knew she would kill them. They knew, and yet they still defied her, and that made no sense to her. She's like, I have complete control over their fear, and May says, I love Zuko more than I fear you, and she just loses it. And then Ty Lee, the person who is scared of her the most, just goes off on her. And the whole scene with her mother is so telling. It's like her mother. She says, "Even you hated me." Her mother says, "No, Azula, I loved you," and she just breaks down into tears. It's so telling to her character. It's such a great character, such a good analysis. I hear that some of our classic characters have some mental health issues. Plus, the Avatar book expands a lot on main characters after war stories changes them. Well, the whole thing about mental health issues is that it's a bit more broad than it used to be. So, one of the reasons why Korra might have sucked is because they put representation over the story. I don't know about representation. I think it was just a lot of other things. I mean, they had plenty of representation in the original. I know afterwards, when Korra was over, they did that whole Korra and Asami thing, but that was in the comics rather than the show. And that had nothing to do with the first two seasons, which were the ones I saw. Korra, I never liked the character Korra. Even though I love season 1 of Korra, despite the final episode. Sada says, please. Even though I love season 1, despite the final episode, I never liked the character Korra. She was a spoiled brat. She was a complete spoiled brat throughout the whole thing. I hear, Phantom Strider. He's always saying, like, good things about Korra. And I'm like, I respect this guy's opinion so much, but I disagree. Oh, it's like I always twinge when Korra comes up because he always says really good things about her, and I'm like, well, I didn't see the final two, and even if I did, you're allowed to disagree with someone you respect, Shay. Plus, Zuko's father has been abusing their mother, and their mother was trying to spare Zuko from that abuse. Well, I never read the final comics, so I don't know the final things of what happened with Zuko's mom. So yeah, I mean, I could just say that Zuko's father was. No, he wasn't. I was gonna say he was mentally abusing the entire family, but no, he wasn't. Azula was definitely not mentally abused. Zuko was just somewhat neglected, but that was typical Fire Nation behavior. They didn't care as much about family as they did about honor, and Iroh was the only one who understood that honor can come from different places. You disagree with Phantom Strider on what is dark themes in a kids show? Yeah, I haven't seen that video yet. I want Phantom Strider to make a top 10 forgotten Disney songs, because he did his top 10 forgotten Disney movies, and I was like, there are a lot of songs from these movies that I love, and I don't think they get enough attention. Alright, I'm going to be ending the stream pretty soon. So if you got any more topics or questions, get them out. I am ears. And to any newcomers who came, don't forget the subreddit is now up. I'll post it again in the chat. The subreddit is now up if you guys want to have more discussions there. I once saw somebody comment about how Taya uses all four. Oh, T. Oh my goodness, I watched too much anime. The fact that I read that as Taya. Actually, I don't watch anime that much. I watch too much parody anime. Freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. Uses all four of the elements. Earth for the taste, water for something. Water is the container. It's the liquid. Fire for heating and air for cooling. Yeah, it does. Huh. Zuko losing his firebending is a metaphor for how his heart is not in the proper place to do the bending. Well, firebending was a representation of will. It was willpower. In order to firebend, you had to want something. Zuko's drive was capturing the Avatar. It's what pushed him forward. When he lost his drive to do that, he needed to find a new drive. That was the whole point of the firebending masters. He needed to find his new drive, and it was supposed to be to teach Aang to defeat the Fire Lord. Please do some Simpsons season 30 reviews. Golly, I barely watched The Simpsons. I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was young, and then by the time I got to an age where I could, it was like just such old news. People had moved on. I'm tired of my camera shaking. It keeps doing that. Is there any films from Disney that could be better in live action? I've heard good cases for Robin Hood. Well, many of them could be better in live action. It's just they just don't try, you know. Like freaking, a lot of people agree Will Smith's Genie was decent in Aladdin. I didn't really see it because I boycott Disney live action movies, but I've seen the Will Smith scenes, and yeah, he brings a different take to the character. Like, I love his version of Friend Like Me, although it could have been better in some places. But then you have Prince Ali, in which they barely tried anything. It's such a boring thing. But I would say... I think there's actually a good place for Mulan. Because Mulan was so... Matt Munchkin talked about this. Mulan was so cartoony in regards to what you think about when it comes to Mulan. I don't think it's going to be quote-unquote better, but I think it could be its own thing. The Black Cauldron, yeah. That would definitely be much better live action. Can you do more F is for Family videos? I would like to. I have a backlog of videos I have to get through. There are a couple topics from F is for Family that I do want to talk about. I don't want to see any more photorealistic animals and call it live action. I don't want to see any more photorealistic animals, really, at all. The Black Cauldron is exactly like the Lord of the Rings. I guess so, yeah. But the difference is between Lord of the Rings and Black Cauldron is the characters. The main character in Black Cauldron, he wanted adventure. Frodo didn't want adventure. Frodo was happy where he was. Can Eddie Murphy be Mushu again? Like, again, it seems to me like they're going for a more serious tone with Mulan. And Eddie Murphy would bring that down. Eddie Murphy was comic relief in the first one. And, he's a comedian, so he should be comic relief. It would be really distracting if he was Mushu. Unless they want to make Mushu more comic relief. Like, I think if they're going to do a live... Like, I hear the nostalgia critic complain about Alice in Wonderland, but I still respect Alice in Wonderland. It tried to be different. Jungle Book, I think, is a good live-action movie. The only problem I have with Jungle Book was when King Louie started singing, because it didn't fit the tone of the movie, and it was just clearly a callback to the original. But Jungle Book felt like it was trying to be its own version of the story that already existed, of the actual Jungle Book. It didn't feel like it was trying to be the cartoon again. Everybody has that one. And Cinderella is also one that I have a bit more respect for. Like, the ones that try to be different, I do have a bit more respect for. Because to say that you can't remake a story, I don't think should be the mentality. The problem is Disney specifically is remaking their own stories, and they're either not being different enough or they're not staying true to the original story. Like their Alice in Wonderland one, even though I respect it for trying to be different, it wasn't true to the focus of the story, which that the Wonderland was nonsensical. There wasn't any logic to it. The Tim Burton one, there was lots of logic and seriousness going on. What would a kid's version of the Godfather be like? You just replace anything that's too violent with something that is scary to kids. Like instead of killing, you would just say somebody has to go to the tickle corner or something like that. That was in a VeggieTales episode where they, instead of killing people, they sent somebody to the island of perpetual tickling. Dude, Mulan with no music cannot be good. A Mulan story with no music can be good. The problem is Disney puts their name on this stuff. So you're not thinking Mulan, you're thinking Disney's Mulan. Disney's Mulan needs music. That's the main problem. If it was somebody else remaking Mulan and just trying to make a different version, their own version of the story, it'll be fine. And like freaking Mulan was already remade in Once Upon a Time. No live action Dumbo. I didn't see the point of remaking Dumbo. Like that's the thing. There doesn't the point when you want to remake something. It's usually because you feel like you have a different perspective on what's going on, and you want to share that perspective. There's no point to all of these. To a lot of these, like even Dumbo, even though it was different, there's no point to it. How they're gonna make a man out of me without the music? Well, it's a montage. It's a training montage. That's all a man. That's all. Be a Man. That's what the song's called. Be a Man is just a montage with music, and they've been doing training montages for ages. They can do it. It's just again, it has the Disney logo on it, and Disney's Mulan is much more different than just Mulan. Have you seen Dragon Prince? No, I wanted to review it, but when I asked people if they wanted me to review it, I got very low answers. I want to see a video about the significance of the horse balloon in Bojack season 5, or get an explanation now if you don't mind. The thing is, I said this in my top 10 things season 5 did wrong. I don't have an explanation for the balloon. I can guess, but it's so ambiguous, I can't draw a proper conclusion. And that's what I don't like about it. If they did have a purpose for it, which I don't think they did, they didn't leave enough clues as to what it meant. It's left way too open. And I think things should be open. I don't think we should be told directly everything, but it's left so open. Like I get people in that video all the time saying, "Well, I think the balloon representation was simple. I think it means this." All their answers are different. They all say that they think it's simple and that it means something, and it's completely different. Like they have different answers, and I'm like, this just proves my point. Everybody gets a different interpretation because it's so open to interpretation. Please review it. Well, I would have to watch it first, and then I would have to deem it worth reviewing. And I'm not really that much of a review channel. I do review Miraculous, and from time to time I'll review a show, but I'm more of an analysis channel. And that's what people mainly want to see is they want me to break down characters, show what they represent in a literature perspective, or talk about it from a morality perspective. So I don't know if I can really justify like reviewing stuff anymore. The only thing I really review now is Miraculous, and that's purely because I like doing it. Like those things get no views, and they're actually really bad for the channel. But I like doing them. Which Disney sequel is great? I think The Little Mermaid 2 is better. The Little Mermaid 2, I love The Little Mermaid 2, but I don't know if I can say it's objectively good. Which Disney sequel is great? Aladdin and the King of Thieves, Lion King 2. Those are two great ones I've seen. I've never seen 102 Dalmatians, but Doug Walker said it was really good. Or 102. I've seen 102 Dalmatians. I've never seen 101 Dalmatians 2. As you mentioned, Frank and Sue's... Aw. was gonna read that. But yeah, Little Mermaid 2 is one of my more favorite of the Disney sequels. I like I was a simple child. I liked a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to like. As you mentioned, Frank and Sue's marital problems. Any comment on them as parents? Um, I think Sue was a great. I have to compare them to season 1 to season 3, because in season 3 was clearly meant to show them being bad parents. That was the point of season 3, that they were getting so focused on things around them they were ignoring their children. Season 2 was meant to show that Frank was being a bad man, which went into being father and husband. So they wanted to show that Frank was being just bad in general. Season 1 is mainly what I think about, and season 1 is where it becomes interesting, because I think there are certainly areas they could be better at, but it's hard for me to call them bad, because I see exactly why they're doing what they're doing. I can't say I would do it any different if I had their mentality. Like, Frank is stuck in the traditional man mindset, and so when he talks to his daughter, he tells her he doesn't want her to go through any hardships. He thinks that's the man's job. So when she says things like, I want to go to space, he says, marry an astronaut. He wants the astronaut to do all the work to get her to space. That's the mentality that he has of the man takes care of the family. And then when it comes to his sons, as they get older, he starts treating them more harshly, because he believes the world is not going to be as kind. You can see it between Kevin and I can never remember the youngest son's name, but Kevin and the youngest son. The youngest son, he was so nice to in season 1, but as he got older, he started treating him more and more like Kevin. Bill, that's his name, Bill. Bill, he treated him so nice in season 1, but as he got older, he started and as he started doing like accidents and stuff, he started treating him more and more like Kevin. And he's trying to figure out how Kevin got the way he got. Kevin got the way he got because, it's a question of chicken before the egg, which came first. But part of the reason is Kevin doesn't feel like he can communicate with Frank. Frank is always insulting him. What Kevin doesn't know is that all men, that's how Frank talks. He yells at people. He insults them. He feels like they should take that. And I really shouldn't even say all men. All people who aren't his family or his wife, he treats like that. It was only in, I want to say season 2, he started yelling at his wife, and that's the season where they were like, Frank is being a bad husband and whatnot. Bill running away is a wake up call. Also, him rejecting to save them. I think it could have been done better, but yeah. Like I said, that whole season was just showing that they weren't listening, that they were being bad parents. I don't want to say they were being bad parents, but I think that's supposed to be the point of their characters, that they needed to change to be good parents. I think that Frank is the most logical one of the whole family, but the mother is trying to destroy it, and Frank's just to fit her shallow ego. Well, I would say in some aspects I agree with that, but mostly no, I don't agree with that. The thing is, Sue was not happy with just the family. She wasn't. So she was trying to find a way to make herself happy. I think that's what you should do. If you're not happy with your current lifestyle, you seek a change. She wanted a job. So she went out, and it just started as a hobby. Then Frank lost his job. She had to step up. She had to. She didn't want to keep that job. She wanted to quit and do other stuff. But when Frank lost his job, she had to step up. That's what you're supposed to do. The only the problems I have with season 2 was they were saying like, oh, Sue was, when Frank was the breadwinner, Sue was being completely supportive, but Frank was never there for Sue. I didn't like that, because Frank and Sue are awake at different times. Like, the whole point was Frank was overly tired because he had just came back from work. Sue would be awake the same time as Frank when he had his job, so she could do things like make lunch. Frank, when he was living in the house, he did make dinner, or at least he attempted. He wasn't really good at it. He did make dinner. He did make meals. But when you're working the night shift and you come home, you're tired. You want to go to sleep. So I don't think that was a really fair assessment to say that, oh, when Sue wasn't the breadwinner, she was doing all this stuff. But now that she is, Frank isn't. I don't think that was fair. And another thing, like I said, I think the episode was right. The show was right in calling out Frank's behavior. I just didn't like that it said, well, he should just get over it. Because people have emotions built into them. I think, yeah, he should get over it, but not just get over it. He has to work on that. He has to do physical things to change his mindset. That's how you get over a personality trait that you have. You do physical things to make sure you don't get back into that mindset. Or you don't support that mindset. I want to be a person like you. Shades and do-rags? That's a very vague concept. Thank you, though. That's appreciated. What do you think Disney will buy next? Western versions of anime? Well, that would be... I don't know, because Disney is dangerously reaching monopoly territories. And it's like, how many are they allowed to own? And you can see, like, it's having some effect. Like, their take on Star Wars, people are just very unhappy with that, but they don't have to worry about it because they own so many other stuff. I think that Frank is the most logical one. Oh, I just read that. Hercules live action. They've already done that. Again, there's just not a Disney's Hercules live action. Frank is one of those alpha males who knows what they want and how to demand respect in the room, but the wife and kids don't respect him or the hard work that comes with it. Well, the show started out with Sue respecting Frank, and but the problem is, as Sue began to... Again, Sue did what she had to do. She wasn't happy, so she went to get a job. When the job stopped making her happy, she wanted to go back to her old life, but she had to step up. Sue did what she was supposed to do in that regard. She stopped respecting Frank when Frank stopped being respectful. There were a lot of things that Frank did that weren't respectful. For example, him not going to the DEA to the job place. He went there, but he didn't apply. I get why he did that. It's an ego thing, pride thing. I completely felt him when he did it, but he can't justify his actions. He knew he should have done it, even though it was going to hurt. It's the same issue I have with Diane. You know it's going to hurt, but you know it's what you're supposed to do. And more and more stuff like that happened, and Sue was getting more frustrated. Sue was there's a lot going to analyze in F is for Family, because Sue was getting frustrated for many, many reasons. Frank was also getting frustrated for many, many reasons. I don't say the blame in their relationship is on any one person. I mean, if I had to put more fault on somebody, no, even then it's difficult to say. I just understand Frank. I relate to Frank more than I do Sue, but I'm not going to blame Sue more than I am Frank. I'm so dumb, I just realized why you're called Shady. Shades, yes. Shady do-rags. Did you see the El Camino trailer? I have not. Is there anything you fear Disney buying the rights to? Mine is probably Doctor Who. I don't really care about that aspect. I'm just more concerned because Disney is taking certain steps that they've gotten lazy in certain areas. Like I said, with Star Wars, they're taking this approach that's clearly not working, and they don't seem to care. And now they're going that route with with Marvel. There are certain things that they're changing. Like, they had Marvel for a while, and they were doing a really good job. But now they're changing something, and they're changing some things, and it doesn't feel like it's for the better. Hi, just wanted to say I really love your videos. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. We're just chatting about stuff, which is par the usual on here. Streams, the thing about streams is I know people who are in the streams love them. I try not to do too many streams because, to me, as somebody who makes these heavily edited videos, they feel lazy. If I was doing something, like playing a video game or drawing or something, I wouldn't feel as lazy, but my computer doesn't really have the processing power to handle all that stuff. I used to draw and stream, but I haven't been inspired to draw in quite some time. That's something I want to get back into once I go full-time on YouTube. But yeah, like, streams just feel like really lazy content to me, because it's just me sitting and talking. There's not much work on my part, so I would prefer to just make actual videos. But I know you guys love to communicate, and I want to hear your thoughts as much as some of you want to hear mine. So I like to give you guys a chance to get that all out there, which again is why the subreddit exists now. What do you think of One Punch Man season 2? I haven't seen One Punch Man. I haven't gotten into anime. I made that joke earlier to say I watch too much anime. No, I barely watch anime. I would get back into it, but freaking Crunchyroll won't release the Detective Conan episodes. Will you watch it with Disney inevitably reboots Simpsons? I might check it out. Um, but it doesn't seem like something I'd be like. The Simpsons have long since lost their intrigue. So, and again, I didn't watch Simpsons that much growing up anyway. And again, I'm not that attracted to adult cartoons, more Saturday morning cartoons. How do you feel about Vic and him trying to give up? Yeah, I think he should. He had a serious problem. I'm kind of mad they played it off as a joke, and he just ran straight back to him because his it showed that his addiction was affecting his life. Like he had been fired several times, and he couldn't comprehend that. And whenever something bad happened, he would turn to his addiction, and he couldn't see the things that were going on in his life. I want to do a comparison video of Vic to Mr. Peanut Butter because their characters serve the same purpose in the story, generally speaking. Like, I feel like though with that idea, I'm kind of stealing from Alpha J, but it's like I can't make Alpha J do a versus video on those two characters. I want to compare those two characters, Mr. Peanut Butter Vic. I want to compare Tuca and not Tuca, Bertie and Aggretsuko, and there's another two characters, but I can't remember. But yeah, when you think about it, both Vic and Mr. Peanut Butter, they have the lives that the protagonist kind of envies. Um, they're both really happy, and while the protagonist is more miserable. The only thing is, Mr. Peanut Butter got more depth after season 2. Um, Savage Book, yeah, Savage Books goes into this in his Mr. Peanut Butter episode. Mr. Peanut Butter was meant to foil BoJack in the first season, but after that stopped. Vic was the same thing, but focus on Vic wasn't given like focus on Mr. Peanut Butter was. They were both meant to foil the protagonist in their lifestyles. Alright, guys, it looks like everything has died down. So, I'm going to go ahead and call the stream here. Thank you guys so much for watching, stopping by. This is just a quick little stream. I just wanted to get the couple announcements I had about some stuff. And I also wanted to discuss with you guys your various video topics that I know I can't really get to in videos. So, I hope this will at least provide some closure on some of those ideas. Again, the subreddit is up, so if anybody wants to check that out, feel free. And I will see you guys whenever I do. I'm hoping to get a video out by next weekend, but the next couple of videos I have planned are going to take a lot of editing, so I might have to wait another week. But hopefully there should be a video out, which, by the way, my regular upload times are, I know they've been crazy these past couple of months, but my regular upload times are Sunday nights, and normally I stream on Fridays, if I stream. If I upload, it's normally on Sunday night. If I stream, it's normally Friday in the afternoonish. But I'll see you guys later, and yeah, I should just ended it. I'll see you guys later. I'm very good at outros. This has been Shady Durags. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.